Hello, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of the ongoing campaign, The Fog of War, and this is the second mission from the main rulebook, Eternal War Combat Patrol Outriders. So this will again see the Eagle Marines pitted against the Death Watch. After the first battle, the armies have regrouped, tended to the wounded, and they're ready to fight again. As per the previous mission, each army will take the mission-specific secondary objective, which for this mission is survey, which is 5 victory points if you control both the objective markers that are not in either player's deployment zone at the end of the command phase. So it will dovetail pretty nicely with the primary objectives, and for the mission, the deployment follows what you can see here in the map. So I've already set out the battlefield, but first up I'll just show you the armies. Okay, here we have again Captain Tiberius Calgar of the Eagle Marines. He's the warlord, and he's got the armour Indomitus, and with him again are squad 1, squad 2 and now squad 3 of the 12th company, ready to do battle against those black clad space marines. So very little to report from the follow-on from the first battle, but in my plan to escalate, the Eagle Marines have brought a small 6-man squad, which will mean that I will probably not combat squad the 2 full-size squads, because I think with the 3 squads there'll be the flexibility to do some board control and take the objectives given this mission. There are effectively 4 objectives, but I think to win the mission, particularly with the secondary objective, the mission specific one being survey, to take the 2 objectives that are not in the opponent's deployment zone, those 2 full-man squads should do the business, but we shall wait and see. In terms of use of this army, even though I got that first battle under my belt, still feel very rusty, still got a lot to learn and relearn regarding stratagems and what have you, but we'll see how we go, and we'll see how the Eagle Marines get on with this mission. Now over to the Death Watch. Actually, before I just go over to the Death Watch army, the point to note is that for the other secondary objectives, this army is taking engage in all fronts and attrition, and similar to my trying to get to grips with stratagems and know when each can be used and when each is going to be relevant, which I believe could be a lot better laid out in the rule books and supplements. When it comes to secondary objectives, the fact that some are scored at the end of the turn, some at the end of the battle round, some at the end of the command phase, some at the end of the battle. I think that's how they should be set out and picked, because for this army, the engaged in all fronts is scored at the end of the turn, attrition scored at the end of the battle round, and survey, which is scored at the end of the turn but not turn one, same as primary objectives, is what I need to remember here. But yeah, so that was the secondary objectives, and now I'll move on over to the Death Watch. Okay, here we have Farius Black back again with his Death Watch force. This time, in addition to the Terminators and 2 6-man intercessor squads, there is another Death Watch Terminator squad. This force comes in at 60 power, which is 876 points, which coincidentally compares to 35 power, 625 points for the Eagle Marines. But if you've seen the first battle, you might understand why. The captain here, Farius, will again be the Warlord. Again, his Warlord trait will be Adept of the Codex, and again his relic will be Adamantine Mantle, which gives the 5+ Feel No Pain, which I'm pretty certain I totally forgot about in the first battle, but try and remember it this time round. That's the object of this exercise. So as we go forward, if and when other characters are added and maybe they become the Warlord, I'll pay the CP for him to have a Warlord trait and have a relic, so that I can continue to remember what he has, what he can do. But the other thing that the Death Watch can do and have done is the mixed squads, but I'm going to steer clear of that for the time being and just get the knowledge of the army bedded in. Also, special issue ammunition, didn't use that in the first battle. Try and use it in this battle, see how we go, but struggling to remember all the rules for my main army, but to remember them for the two armies is a lot. So I'll see how I go. As per my remit for this ongoing campaign, they will have the secondary objective of survey. In addition to that, they're going to take battlefield supremacy and slay the Warlord. And again, when to remember them: battlefield supremacy is scored in the command phase, slay the Warlord at the end of the battle, and the survey objective is at the end of the turn, but not turn one. So we'll see how we go with this. Next up, we'll move on and I'll show you the deployment on the battlefield. Okay, this is the battlefield and following deployment. So Captain Tiberius Calgar is deployed in his corner. He's got the 6-man squad holding the home objective. He's got his first squad here ready to just double check. Yep, there it is, first squad. Ready to take the objective in the no man's land. And it's right there in some line of sight blocking terrain. So if they do manage to run onto it, they'll be safe for a turn or two. And then the squad 2 has got a fair way to go down the battlefield to reach the other objective, which is part of their goal to secure both those two. Got the name of the objective, survey, that's it. So they need to survey both those objectives, which is the mission specific secondary. So that's their plans. Farius Black is deployed here with his first squad of Terminators, and they're ready to, as far as they can, get up the board and take on the Eagle Marines. They'll be supported by one of the squads of Primaris intercessors. The second squad will hold the objective, and the newly arrived squad of Terminators will make a beeline for the objective in the no man's land there. So the increased firepower from this Terminator squad with the missile launcher might make a difference. They've got an assault cannon with them too, and another heavy flamer. So yeah, plenty of output, but they'll have to get in range and take on the Eagle Marines close and personal, I think. But yeah, this is it after deployment. So I'm going to roll for first turn and into the first battle round. Okay, this is the first battle round. Turn 1 for the Eagle Marines who won the roll off, and this is the command phase. They secure 1 command point for being battle forged, which takes them up to 13 because I didn't use any pre-game, and again I'm going to maximise the command points so that I can use as many as I can remember, which yeah, proved pretty difficult in the first game. See how we go with this one. So in the command phase, the plans can be laid out, and it's pretty much, as I said earlier, for what the Eagle Marines plan to do to win this battle. So that's in the command phase, and I'll resume after the movement phase for the Eagle Marines. Okay, here we are at the end of the movement phase for the Eagle Marines. The squad 1 advanced, just rolled a 2 on their advance move and moved up a bit close to that objective. They're claiming cover for the barricade. Captain shuffled slightly forward. He's buffing both units. The 6-man squad, I had a look, probably a couple of the Marines are within range of the Terminators up ahead. There's nothing line of sight blocking, but it obscured a bit, so might do -1 to hit for them. The second squad also advanced, also rolled a 2 for their advanced move, but they're trying to leg it up the table to reach that objective. So that's it for the movement phase. I'll come back after the shooting phase. Okay, I've just established that no weapons are in range or in sight of enemy models. The 30-inch bolt rifles are out of range of the visible enemy, and this unit, because of the height of this terrain feature, cannot see or target the rest of the Death Watch force, and yeah, these are all out of range, these advanced. So that's the end of the shooting phase for the Eagle Marines. Obviously no charge phase, and therefore no fight phase, no morale phase, so we'll go on to turn 1 for the Death Watch. Okay, here we are in the command phase, turn 1 for the Death Watch, and gaining command point, and I think that's about it for the command phase. They would score battlefield supremacy, which is a Death Watch specific secondary objective, because they do not have any enemy within their deployment zone, and they have units in their deployment zone, but that cannot be scored on turn 1. So they have to keep the enemy at bay here. So I think the plan is to move the hard-hitting Death Watch Terminators forward and have a bit of support from one of the squads of intercessors. We already know that a lot of the weapons are out of range, but the Stalker bolt rifles and the missile launchers would be in range even if they stayed still, but they do need to move out of their deployment zone, take some objectives, take some board control. So that's the plan for the Death Watch, and I'll come back to you after the movement phase. Okay, this is the result after the movement phase. The Terminator squad here moved their 5 inches forward. Didn't see any point in advancing them because I think they'll still reach their objective before the enemy. This squad stayed put on their home objective. The grenade launcher and the Stalker bolt rifle might be in range of enemy units, but with the ruins in between, even though they're not over 5 inches, not sure if they can target the enemy. There's not a clear line of sight. Similarly with the squads here, the Terminators moved forward and the intercessors advanced, but because they do have an assault, an auto bolt rifle and a grenade launcher, which are assault weapons, then they can advance and fire. So I thought it was worth them advancing. They did score, or did roll a 6 for their advance move, but it didn't quite allow them to clear the barricade, which would reduce their movement by 2 inches, so they just stayed put up against it, but they'd gain cover from that if they were targeted, because they're within 3 inches of it. So that's the end of the movement phase. I'll work out the shooting phase for the Death Watch. This is the end of the shooting phase, of which absolutely no shots were fired. The Terminators couldn't see any enemy in amongst the ruins, neither could the Intercessors, whether their weapons are in range or not. Similarly with the Terminators and the Intercessors, there's nothing for them to see, target, shoot. Probably a point to note to self to if and when I expand the army, to include weapons that do not require line of sight, barrage weapons and this sort, then that's a good opportunity to use those on a cluttered battlefield. Anyway, so that's the end of the shooting phase for the Death Watch, and effectively, as there is no charge to declare and no fight, no morale, so it's the end of the turn for the Death Watch, and moving to battle round 2. Okay, here we are in the command phase for turn 2 of the Eagle Marines, and the captain's plan here is to get these guys up onto their objective, and yeah, see if once they're on there they can be shifted. There won't be any visible enemy for a while, so they'll just have to park on their objective and do what they can. These Marines are already parked on their objective, getting benefit of cover, so it'll be up to these Marines to leg it forward. They'll be slowed down by the ruins and the crater within, but they've got a fair way to go to reach their goal. So that will be the plan. So execute that in the movement phase. My plan to use, learn and record strategies is not going particularly well. I couldn't think of a single one in the command phase that would be appropriate, and yeah, going into the start of the movement phase, the ones to alter what doctrine the Marines or a particular unit is in don't seem appropriate at this time, so I shall execute the movement phase and come back to you after that. Okay, end of the movement phase, turn 2 for the Eagle Marines. The captain was buffing both his squads, but he's just moved around the crates in order to buff the small squad that's holding his home objective. The squad 1 moved up there 6 inches in order to take this objective, and yeah, because it's a huge piece of terrain, more than 5 inches tall, and there's no windows in it, It'll be a while before they get jumped upon by the Death Watch which are on the way. The squad here advanced again. They rolled a huge 1 for their advance move, which I did reduce 2 from their movement because of the crater, but it still meant that the 2 grenade launchers should now be able to see something from their positions and shoot, because they are assault weapons. So despite advancing, then they should be able to target something. So that's the end of the movement phase. I'll come back after the shooting phase. Okay, this is the end of the shooting phase for the Space Marines. The 2 eligible grenade launchers that were in range and able to see and target the Terminators both failed to hit on their dice rolls. So the Marines on the ground floor couldn't even see a target, and these are out of range, and these are totally unable to see anything with the line of sight blocking the terrain. So after 2 turns, there's been absolutely nothing to report, to be honest. So we'll go on to turn 2 for the Death Watch. Okay, it's turn 2 for the Death Watch, and it's the command phase, and they gain a CP, and there's no CP to spend, so again they're mounting up, and my intentions of being able to use all the strategies, spend CP freely in order to learn the buffs and refresh, or even learn the rules and incorporating stratagems. It's not really going to plan, but never mind, we'll plough on. So what will Captain Black do here? So I think for this turn he's going to move him and his retinue up through, over the barricade, through the ruins. Again, it'll be restricted movement, and Terminators aren't the quickest. I think these might just shuffle around a bit just to see if they can get some line of sight on a target or 2 while still maintaining the objective. We're in tactical doctrine, so they extra AP on their bolt weapons should be worth employing, and these Terminators still making their way towards the objective there, and yeah, so end of the command phase for the Death Watch, and I'll come back after the movement phase. Okay, end of the movement phase for the Death Watch. The squad shuffled about a bit. The 3 with bolt rifles moved so that they could just about see some enemy there and still be, I think, just about in range. The Stalker bolt rifle stayed put, as did the sergeant with the auto bolt rifle. They just moved up and moved away closer to this objective. I don't think they can still see any targets. I'll just have to see if the assault cannon can actually see anything. We'll have to see. but this squad decided not to go through the ruins because it was just restricting their movement too much and they couldn't really see anything. I think they can see a target with the storm bolters. The flamers are out of range, and the captain advanced to get over the barricade. That squad also advanced, rolled a decent roll of 5 for their advance, but lost 2 because of the barricade. But the sergeant has his auto bolt rifle, and I have checked that one. It is just in range of the Marines on the ruins over there. So that is it for the movement phase. I'll come back after the shooting phase. Okay, just in fact I think I've got a couple more to shoot, so we'll call this midway through the shooting phase. The assault cannon was the only thing able to see. It shot at the Marines, scored 2 wounds, which failed to save, so the single Marine succumbed to his injuries there. The storm bolters on this unit actually, well, they couldn't see anything through all the ruins, so they've done nothing. Captain couldn't see anything either, and then the sergeant fired his auto bolt rifle at the Marine he could see and missed. So I think I'll just double check the validity of the 3 tactical bolt rifle Marines and see if they can target the same unit. I'll resolve that, and if not, it'll be the end of the Death Watch turn. Okay, this is the end of the shooting phase, so the 3 Marines there were able to see and target the unit. They could basically just see the one stood up on the ruin there, and they fired. First 3 shots missed, so spent 2 CP for rapid fire. They shot again. This time they did score a couple of wounds, one of which was saved, so it's taken 1 Marine down to 1 wound. So that is the end of the shooting phase. Now for the Death Watch, no charges to declare, no fight phase, so, and no morale. So this is the end of the Death Watch turn 2. So we'll come on to turn 3 for the Eagle Marines. Okay, here we are at the beginning of battle round 3. Tactical doctrine is still effective for the Space Marines. The command phase saw them regain a command point. Just incidentally, the Death Watch commander, I remember to use his Adept of the Codex warlord trait, and he recovered one of the 2 CP that was spent on their rapid fire. This warlord's got the same trait, not really used any CP yet. maybe this round. So battle round 3, so turn 3, and I think the plan is to consolidate on to this objective. They've probably got scanners that tell them that there's some enemy the other side of the walls. They can't see them because of the terrain, but they probably know they're there. Again, this unit still benefiting from cover and holding this objective, but they're not doing much else. The Terminators up ahead aren't yet in sight really, and also they're out of range of their bolt rifles. This squad will continue to move through the ruins. They've lost one of their number, but it's not going to affect them too much yet. Still effectively full fighting strength. Still got those 2 grenade launchers, so if they do advance, they'll still be able to fire as they are assault weapons. If they can get to here and see the Terminators, yeah, they'll probably target those. Might be able to see those, but we'll see what happens at the end of the movement phase. Okay, this is the end of the movement phase for the Eagle Marines. That squad stood still, benefiting from the cover and looking after the objective. Captain shuffled back a bit so that he can give his aura to the unit that repositioned itself. Still holding the objective, still behind the barricade, but 3 of them can now see a couple of the Terminators up ahead, so that will be their plan. The squad moving through the ruins did a advance move again, which means the grenade launchers can fire again, and yeah, couldn't quite make it all the way through the ruins despite a decent advance roll of a 5, but they're making their way to that objective. Whether they can take on 6 Terminators with the incoming fire from the Death Watch over there, we'll have to wait and see. But that's the movement phase for the Eagle Marines. Come back after the shooting phase. Okay, this is the end of the shooting phase for the Space Marines. The unit here, 3 of them were able to shoot twice with their bolt rifles, and failed to score any wounds on those Terminators. The unit here fired its 2 grenade launchers as assault weapons despite advancing, and they managed to take 1 wound off Terminator there, so that was pretty much it for the shooting phase for the Space Marines. No planned charges or fights, no morale to take, so this ends the 3rd turn for the Space Marines. Yeah, go on to turn 3 for the Death Watch. Okay, this is the start of turn 3 for the Death Watch, and the plan here is for Farius Black to move up with his intercessors. They can move through that building despite the fact there's no doors in it. I think that they'll probably create one. It blocks line of sight but not movement, I think, and then he'll follow up there with them. These Terminators will move forward and decide which of the enemy to engage. They'll either face off and start to take out some of the unit there in order to help their battle brothers out when they breach the wall, or they'll thin out this unit which are heading for this objective, although I think that this unit might be more than capable of handling them. I think this unit may still shuffle about a bit in order to get a line of sight on some more enemy, rather than just babysitting this objective. So that's the end of the command phase for the Death Watch, and I'll come back after the movement phase. Okay, this is the end of the movement phase for the Death Watch. The intercessors carried on running up the side of this building. I didn't think the movement was enough to get them all through the ruin on this turn, so they could not breach the wall and charge the intercessors on the other side. The captain shuffled up to join them. This unit shuffled around a bit in order to get storm bolters a bead on the unit ahead of them. The flamers are in range of the squad there, so that will be their task. Similarly, this unit shuffled around to secure this objective, and these intercessors shuffled around in order to get a bit of line of sight on the unit over here. So that's the plans for the shooting phase for the Death Watch. So come back to you at the end of that. Okay, this is the end of the shooting phase for the Death Watch. This lot shot all the weapons at this unit and failed to score any wounds. The storm bolters of this unit shot the unit ahead of them, felling one of the Marines. The heavy flamers all fired at this unit and failed to cause any wounds. The assault cannon did cause a wound. In fact, caused a couple of wounds, felling two of the Marines there. The Cyclone Crack missiles fired on the unit ahead of them, felling a Marine there. So total wounds caused, the Death Watch managed to fell a total of 4 Marines, although I think one was on 1 wound to start with, so not particularly effective. Storm bolters did nothing. This heavy flamer was out of range. So yeah, and the unit over there couldn't see anything to shoot because of the line of sight blocking building. So that's pretty much it, the turn for the Death Watch. I think there might be a morale check to do for those Marines. You know, they've lost 2, 6, 7, 8, no, they'll be fine. So yeah, the end of the Death Watch, turn 3. Apart from taking this objective, which will score them some points at the end of their turn. Yeah, it's pretty even Stevens, and not a lot going on. But as we go into the battle round 4, We'll see if it livens up in the final 2 rounds. Come back to you with command phase, turn 4, Space Marines. Okay, here we are. This is the start of battle round 4 and the command phase for Space Marines. Tiberius's plan. God knows. Right, so he's holding 2 of the objectives, so he's racking up points. I've not been mentioning the points, they've been neither here nor there, to be honest, and I'll probably do a summary and a roundup at the end, round by round, see what each army scored along the way, but because it's pretty even at the moment, and yeah, the secondaries aren't really being scored, not much point. So gosh, right, so the plan here is, again, these guys with the scanners will be aware that there are enemy forces the other side of the building, so they may shuffle a bit to anticipate that charge through the wall. One of the Marines that could see the enemy has been lost, and they may shuffle so that, yeah, get another bead on those, although the last shooting wasn't that effectual. And this unit is out of range and can't really see even along this avenue to the Terminators, but they're holding that objective. This unit, which has already lost 3 of its number, is now getting close to challenging for that objective, and yeah, they're going to be objective secured if they reach it, but this is battle round 4. They've already advanced twice from their starting position. They've only just got to halfway along the board. I think the unit has to be wholly within for engaging all fronts, so yeah, foot slogging is hard work through the ruins here, and I'm not sure how many inches away the objective is, but they've only got two turns to challenge it, seize it, get the secondary objective, and potentially win the game. So I don't know, we'll see how this plays out. I shall come back to you after the movement phase, turn 4, Space Marines. Okay, this is the end of the movement phase for the Space Marines. This unit shuffled about, made sure that 3 of the models could see the Terminators ahead. Auspex scanners indicated there are enemy the other side of the ruin, so they've braced themselves ready for something coming through the wall. The slot stayed put, babysitting this objective. The unit here that's still moving forward made sure that the grenade guys that have got the heaviest punch can still target the Terminators, but there will be toast when the heavy flamers kick in, but they can all see the units of Terminators, and we'll get a round of shooting in this turn in order to maybe thin the ranks of the Terminators before trying to go and seize that objective in the 5th turn. So that's it for the movement phase for the Space Marines. I'll come back to you at the end of the shooting phase. Okay, this is the end of the turn 4 shooting phase, and the Space Marines fired off at the oncoming Death Watch. This squad here fired at the unit ahead of them. The 3 that could see double tapped, but failed to score any wounds. The 2 Marines here were just in range of the squad ahead of them, and they managed to take off 1 wound. The grenade launchers fired ahead of them but failed to score any wounds, but this group fired. In fact, I need to fire the grenade launchers twice because they used the stratagem to fire again, but I only fired the 5 bolt rifle Marines, and they managed to do pretty well and took some wounds off this unit. So I'll just quickly resolve the shooting for those grenade launchers before I wrap up this shooting phase. Okay, the 2 grenade launchers resolved their attack, and Terminators rolled a 1 for one of the saving throws, and yeah, took the final wound off that guy. So yeah, that concludes the shooting phase for the Space Marines, and the yeah, not going to charge. No charges for the Space Marines, so no melee, and don't think the Death Watch needs to worry about morale. So yep, that concludes this turn 4 for the Space Marines. We'll move on to turn 4 for the Death Watch. Okay, this is the command phase for turn 4 of the Death Watch, and the Death Watch again plan to execute their mission to take the objective behind that building. This unit will, given that we're in turn 4, may just stay put and rattle away at the units. This unit pretty much secured that objective. Might move them forward to make it harder for the Space Marines to do anything in turn 5. And this unit can still take a bead on the Marines there. So yeah, not a particularly eventful game this, but let's play out the following turns. So come back after the movement phase for the Death Watch. Okay, here we are after the movement phase for the Death Watch. This unit stood still, consolidating their position on this objective. The unit here moved forwards, effectively screening out this objective from the oncoming Marines, who'll either have to shoot them, fight the Terminators off to claim the objective in the final turn, but depends how many of them are left, because there's 3 heavy flamers targeted on that unit now. The couple of assault Stormbolt armed Terminators moved sideways into the ruins. And as you can see, the Terminator captain on the intercessors came through the wall to claim this objective, and at least contest this objective, and see if they can whittle down this squad to actually claim it at the end of their turn 4. So we'll see how this plays out. I'll come back to you after the shooting phase for the Death Watch. Okay, so this is the aftermath of the shooting phase for the Death Watch. So this unit fired twice and managed to do a bit of damage at the unit ahead of them, whittling them away. Not sure why, because they'll struggle to shoot them off the target with the captain there. But I think they can handle these in close combat. But yeah, they've only scored a wound so far. Heavy flamers though were completely ineffectual. Storm bolters aided their fire to over here, as did that unit, completely ineffectual firing on this unit. So mainly thanks to the massive amounts of 1s and 2s I managed to roll, rather than them being particularly poor. But anyway, so that's it for the shooting phase for the Death Watch. And no, it isn't, because I haven't fired these, so I'll resolve the shooting for this lot, including the captain, before they declare their charge. Okay, so the point blank range shooting of the intercessors and the captain managed to take 1 wound off 1 Space Marine, so that was pretty poor. But I think that the declared charge might prove effective. We'll see how we get on with that, and the captain will join the fray as well. Come back to you after the charge phase. Okay, following the Death Watch charge phase, the captain completely failed and remained where he was, but the unit scores the massive 11 on their charge roll, so they're well and truly in. So that was the charge phase. Come back after the fight phase. Okay, here ends the fight phase for the Death Watch, and the casualties were 1 each. And yeah, the Death Watch actually took 1 wound off 1 Marine because he was already wounded, I think. So yeah, that was it. So yeah, I don't think they're controlling that objective now, because I have to have a quick measure, but they've got 4 models, and I think the Eagle Marines have got 5 objectives secured within. Anyway, we'll see. I'll have a quick measure, because it will affect the scoring for the mission specific at the end of their turn. But I'll just check that before I remove the casualties and do the morale. I don't think there is any morale, because 6, 7, 8, they'd be fine. So that will conclude the Death Watch turn, and we'll come back in battle round 5. So here we are at the start of battle round 5 on Tiberius Calgar's command phase, and what will his plan be here? Well, he might leg it over here in order to have a final showdown battle with the Captain Black again, and yeah, his squad here will remain in combat. They could fall back and shoot, but then they won't be able to charge. I'll have to see. See what I think is best there. So this squad will remain put, and then this squad will move up through into these ruins in order to try and contest this objective. I'm pretty sure that as things have gone, they won't be able to wipe that unit in turn 5, but they can give it a go. Yeah, that'll be pretty much it for the plan. We'll see how it plays out. Come back to after the movement phase for the Eagle Marines. Okay, this is the end of the movement phase for turn 5, and Tiberius shuffled around the boxes and stayed in cover. He's not very brave, but he can see Captain Black up there, who he's gesturing at him saying, "Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough," which yeah, Captain Black's probably a bit hot-headed and would like to rush in and have a go when it's his turn. But the squad thought about falling back, but then realised they wouldn't be contesting the objective, and if they shot they couldn't charge, and then they'd run out of turns, so they remained in combat, and they'll just have to weather the storm of the Death Watch in the fight phase. We'll see how that plays out. Yep, the diminished squad here still holding this objective. Spent the whole game reading whatever's on that computer, but yeah, that's their battle pretty much over. The squad here shuffled up into this ruin. They've got yeah, a good line of sight on the Terminators. Don't think they'll damage them even at point blank range, whatever that means. And yeah, they can shoot them, they can charge them, they can do what they can, but I would imagine with 3 wounds each, even though one's down to 1, they can't wipe the squad or force it to break. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I might just, if they do charge, they may be able to charge and claim that objective, because they may be objective secured, whereas Terminators aren't. I'll have to double check, but yeah, that could be their route to victory. But we'll see. I'll come back after the shooting phase for the Space Marines. This is the end of the shooting phase for Space Marines. Captain completely missed with his master crafted bolt rifle. The pistols on the in combat Marines took a wound. This squad fired up ahead of them and failed to do anything. And as expected, this squad fired everything they had into the Terminators, and took one wound which felled the already injured Terminator. So that was it for the Eagle Marines. Actually no, I shall use the I should use the CP, and I shall shoot them again, see what happens. Okay, so it was kind of worth it for the Space Marines to shoot again, because they killed off another Terminator. Yeah, in fact, by the looks of it, I managed to kill the sergeant, but yeah, that's because the Death Watch are thinking that they're going to overwatch when the Space Marines declare their charge. So yeah, that will be a sensible thing to do, and with the flamer and assault cannon and missile launcher, they may just whittle down this unit as it charges in. So that'll be the next phase. So come back after the charge phase for Space Marines. Okay, this is the end of the charge phase, and the Overwatch managed to reduce the number in the squad by 2. Pretty good for the Terminators there, but the Intercessors rolled well on their charge and have managed to lock themselves in, and are, I haven't checked yet, but securing the objective. It's pretty good for the end of their turn, but let's see if they can do some damage in the charge, and then whether the return attacks from the Terminators and still be in charge of this objective at the end of that. And then obviously also in the fight phase we have this to resolve with the Death Watch putting their attacks in first. Come back to after the fight phase. Okay, this is the end of the fight phase for the Space Marines, and combat here was yeah, pretty straightforward. The fact that the Eagle Marines outnumbered the Death Watch made the fight swing in their favour, and yeah, only 2 models left in the Death Watch squad to yeah, fight on in their final phase. Isn't looking particularly good for them, but yeah, we'll see how Captain Black does. The yeah, Marines there still looking after their computer. Yeah, over here pretty even Stevens on the fight. The fact that the Space Marines have 3 models close to the objective, and our objective secured. Yeah, I think that the class has been in control of that objective for the end of their turn. This is the end of the turn for the Space Marines. I will do the thing of trying to work out the points and might do a summary at the end. Yeah, that pretty much concludes things for the Space Marines, and it will be the final turn for the Death Watch coming up next. Okay, it's the turn 5, final turn for the Death Watch, and I think that their plan is to yeah, just carry out the remains of the mission and whittle down the Space Marines, see if they can make a difference. So I'll come back to you after the movement phase for the Death Watch. Okay, this is the end of the movement phase, and the intercessors here have discovered that they can draw a bead on the captain, so they're going to see if they can't take a wound or two off him before their own captain piles in. Obviously everyone else stayed put here in combat. This unit shuffled off, and from the ruins they may be able to take care of the remaining men in that unit. Captain Black made a move across the battlefield to think about declaring charge at the opposition captain, and yeah, his two remaining intercessors stayed in combat with the enemy. So yeah, that's the end of the movement phase for the Death Watch, and I'll come back after the shooting phase. Okay, end of the shooting phase for the Death Watch. Could have paid strategy to shoot again. I haven't. I'm not going to bother now. Anyway, round up the shooting phase. Two intercessors fired the pistols, missed. Captain fired his storm bolter and took a wound off the other captain, who has 6 wounds plus 1 for his Indomitus, and started with 7 wounds, down to 6. Rolled a 1 on his 2-up saving throw. Yeah, it might have been a 1-up saving throw actually. If you had a 2, the ground covenant's 1. I'm not sure there's any AP on the. Bloody hell. Anyway, he's lost a wound. So, yeah. Mistakes were made, maybe. Anyway, so, yeah, this squad weathered the storm from Terminators, who probably should have advanced because they're heavy, oh no, they're heavy, aren't they? Heavy flames aren't assault weapons. Yeah, no, they probably shouldn't have advanced, but the flamers were out of range, so they couldn't do any damage. And yeah, Terminators. Yeah, Terminator didn't have any pistols or anything, so they couldn't shoot. And then yeah, this squad did fire everything they had at the captain, but didn't take a wound off him. So that's the end of the shooting phase. Not sure if this could be a charge, maybe not, but the Captain Black will charge in, and might as well overwatch him with the other captain. Let's see how that goes. Okay, this is the end of the fight phase for the Space Marines, and combat here was yeah, pretty straightforward. The fact that the Eagle Marines outnumbered the Death Watch made the fight swing in their favour, and yeah, only 2 models left in the Death Watch squad to yeah, fight on in their final phase. Isn't looking particularly good for them, but yeah, we'll see how Captain Black does. the Marines there still looking after their computer. Over here, pretty even Stevens on the fight. The fact that the Space Marines have 3 models closest to the objective and our objective secured. I think that the class has been in control of that objective for the end of their turn. This is the end of the turn for the Space Marines. I will do the thing of trying to work out the points and might do a summary at the end. That pretty much concludes things for the Space Marines, and it will be the final turn for the Death Watch coming up next. End of the charge phase. Captain Black charged in. Tiberius did overwatch him, failed to hit anything. The Terminators did think they'd have a go. It's something like 11-12 inch charge, but failed to roll enough. So that's the end of the charge phase. Come back to the end of the fight phase for the Death Watch. Okay, end of the fight phase, and the captain attacked first, took a wound off the Tiberius, and Space Marines interrupted, fought the intercessors, killed one, and then the intercessors over there fought and didn't do any damage, and then some retaliation. The Terminators managed to take a wound off an intercessor, killing him, and intercessor fought back, did nothing. Captain Tiberius fought back, did nothing. So that is the end of the Death Watch turn 5 and the end of this game. I'm going to do a quick summary of this, and then I'll work out the points and then call this one quits. Okay, so this is just a quick summary of what my thoughts were on the game before I go through, calculate the points and confirm who was the winner. Pretty much expect the Space Marines to have come out on top of this one. But yeah, no, as a battle goes, this SoloHammer takes some time. It's not bedded in the rules for me. I just don't think I got enough games in with either 8th or 9th for me to commit the rules, the stratagems to memory. I think I forgot something in every single turn. So I think the best way for me to hone my skills and relearn, because I'm sure I knew a lot of this a lot better in the past, is to play against an opponent, and an opponent that's better than me, one that knows the rules and can help me out. And yeah, as lockdown happens in UK, hopefully we'll be able to have some proper games in soon, but I think I'll wait until after then, until I resume the fog of war, and go on to the third battle in this campaign, which I still do want to. I still think that it would be a good learning exercise. I just think that personally I'm coming at it from a inexperienced base, and yeah, putting the time and effort into creating this has not resulted in me believing that I know more than when I started. I just don't think I do. So anyway, I will either come back with a final summary of points scored, or I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Okay, I thought I'd do a quick wrap-up section to the video. After all, I did go through the points, and it was a pretty resounding victory for the Eagle Marines. It was 70, played 25. The Eagle Marines maxed out on their primaries and scored 15 on the secondaries, plus 10 bonus gave them the 70, whereas the Death Watch only managed to get 15 on the primary, plus the 10 painted bonus. So yeah, anyway, I think it will be some time before I do the third battle in this ongoing campaign. Hopefully when restrictions allow, I can get some more games in and play a couple of opponents, and after that the rules, the stratagems and everything else that's failing to sink in at the moment will sink in, and I can make this a battle report that's, you know, easy to film and flows a bit better, and that I can yeah, get better at the game, learn the game, all the things that I originally set out to do that I haven't yet achieved. Anyway, this is the final section of this video. So again, if you watched it, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.